Talk lines are open now at 866-455-9797. This is The Dana Show.
Make sure you check out 971talk.com/Dana for all of our past interviews, including our discussion yesterday with Ted Nugent, which is making the rounds. Mike Flynn, my colleague over at Breitbart.com, heading up Big Government, is in studio with me, and we've been discussing Wisconsin. We have your calls on the way. But joining me on the line right now, I had the pleasure of meeting her in person this past weekend while speaking at the Madison Tax Day Tea Party. Lieutenant Governor Rebecca Kleefisch has been fighting. She's been fighting big labor. She's been fighting biased media, all because of the reforms that she and Governor Scott Walker implemented have worked and have saved Wisconsin millions of dollars. And if you've seen the article up at Breitbart.com, the mom versus the unions, this race is the race that embodies what is happening right now with American politics. And Lieutenant Governor Kleefisch joins us on the phone right now. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Nina. Thanks so much for understanding what's at stake here.
Yeah, well, I've never seen people so attacked for doing their jobs.
Well, we have had our fair share of protests, but that's the beauty of being born in America. We have the blessing of the freedom of speech here in Wisconsin, and there's no doubt folks are passionate. And there's no doubt also that we have terrific public employees here. It's the big union bosses that we are really concerned about, wrestling control of our government back from we the people, we the parents. I said this morning on Facebook, these big union bosses, they want to put we the parents in the back seat, and they want to drive.
Right, and that's something Flynn and I were talking about just this past segment, is that, these are folks, these bosses, and that's exactly right, too, because those are the guys that are really exploiting families. Right. They're exploiting...
And teachers. Let's not forget that. I mean, the union bosses generally, they aren't teachers themselves. Their paycheck comes from forced dues collected from every teacher in Wisconsin.
Right. And I'm glad that you guys get that and are making that distinction, because that's something that we've tried very hard to explain to folks here in Wisconsin. This isn't about folks who are forced to join a union. This is about the big bosses that tend to even be out of state, not even in the state of Wisconsin, that are kind of pulling strings from New York City and Washington, D.C. and Chicago, trying to determine the outcome of an election in Wisconsin, because they understand that this is about their survival. This is about the continued effort to siphon money out of the dues of the folks who dutifully pay their union dues, but may not agree with the political candidates that their dues and attacking. Because the fact is, what Governor Scott Walker and I did, and our legislature as well, was give folks the opportunity to choose whether they wanted to be in a union or not.
Right.
And that's what being an American is, having the right to pick what your destiny is going to be. Pursuit of happiness in your own way is the American way, and it is now officially the Wisconsin way. And saving taxpayers' money is officially the Wisconsin way, too. That because of our reforms in this state, we have some folks who are misinformed and are frustrated, upset. But the facts are that we have saved $848 million in state and local governments because of these reforms. The facts bear out that this has been great for schools, because when you match our data against the past data from the teachers' union-owned data collection, you see that there are fewer teacher layoffs as opposed to previous years. There are fewer increases to classroom fees as opposed to previous years. Yeah. There are fewer cuts to extracurriculars when you compare it to previous years. And we're looking at children still enjoying their classes and teachers still doing a terrific job. And now We can reward our very best teachers with merit pay.
Right.
These things are important for moms and dads, Dana.
And this is what you're talking about. Was there's so many examples of this. There are public school officials that are speaking out in support when they see how these reforms work. I was looking at the Brown Deer School
Even
District.
somebody who's running against the governor in the recall used these reforms.
Exactly.
The Milwaukee City budget.
Exactly. I mean, they're saying that we're able to effectively teach in a way that we've never even been able to think about before. And that was the Brown Deer Public School District finance director who said this. That they're working, and this is what it's all about. I mean, and for the lieutenant governor, that's why you wanted to run, and you won. I mean, you didn't just win. I mean, you blew out the establishment, you blew out the Democrat challenger, and you're fulfilling the promises that you made to these voters. And I look at where you are right now. You've been successful. You did what you said you were going to do. Now you're facing, basically as punishment, a big labor-backed candidate.
Temper tantrum.
Yeah, temper tantrum. And this is, and Flynn and I, we were talking about how your particular race, you've had women lead the Tea Party movement, women very involved in grassroots, fighting back in ways where conservative men's hands have been tied. You really took the initiative and took on the machine, and you won. And now they're gunning for you.
Right.
It's
because they're terrified. If the lieutenant governor is successful in this, they're terrified for what that means, because it destroys all the arguments they've used.
That is true, guys. We represent reform. The governor and I, just plain and simple, represent we the people taking back our government. And taxpayers in Wisconsin said it was time for them to take back their government in fall of 2010. 2008, this recession hit us hard here in the upper Midwest. We're a manufacturing-heavy, agriculture-heavy, tourism-heavy economy, and the recession hurt. And the taxpayers who are being seriously pinched said, hey, guys, you need to do this without raising taxes. You need to fix this $3.6 billion budget deficit without raising taxes. And so we did. We did it. We did what the people asked, and this is what we're facing because of it. And I've got to tell you, saving our governor is the priority here. He is the first generation of reform governors, as I've heard him described. But we also need to make sure that we keep his best partner in the lieutenant governor's office. And I have been the one who has been working hard in economic and workforce development, our two biggest challenges facing Wisconsin, because there is no better social program.
Right. Oh, I hope we didn't lose her just then. Hope we didn't lose her. Let's see if we can get her back on as churches. Yeah, it's SEIU. They did it. But no, she's absolutely right. Can you imagine? And I think we got into this a little bit because she and Walker, they ran as a ticket to get elected now, but the recalls are separate, which is it hurts her more than it hurts him.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine being a governor, especially in a place like Madison, Wisconsin, and having someone who's just absolutely hates all of the reforms, everything you stand for, undermining everything you do from within.
Right. One of the challenge here is, as you notice, I followed Wisconsin very, very closely for the last several months. And this week, I think it's the first time I've heard the name Kleefisch.
Yeah.
And this is I'm somebody who's been watching Wisconsin for a long time. And so there is a real fear that her race and her fight gets obscured and lost in all the good work that's being done to protect Scott Walker. So
exactly,
we need everybody to keep attention to her race and support her in every way possible.
Now, do we have her back on? Is she on with us? Nope. Okay. Well, we're going to be having her on regularly because she's going to be giving us updates as to what's going on in Wisconsin. But that's right. Her race is kind of getting overlooked. For a lieutenant governor, you don't really need to have that big, name recognition in the state's great, but normally there's not that sort of emphasis to have, blow up this candidate like this and have everybody know them and all of their struggles. But with her, it's different. You got $80 million pouring in.
Although I guarantee you, if she were to lose, the national media and then the unions would suddenly make lieutenant governor's office one of the most powerful offices in the entire country.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Yeah, it would. And we're going to, as the days go on, we're going to talk about the challenger that they're trying to prop up to her as well.
Right.
Because this is, it's a labor guy who was friendly with Walker when he thought he could get exemptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got busted for it, and a lot of pressure came down on him from labor. And he had to immediately backpedal. Fascinating stuff.
Don't go against the family.
Yeah, you don't. We'll be right back. More of the Dana Show. Mike Flynn in studio with me. Keep it right here. We'll be getting your calls coming up as well.
This is The Dana Show.